Good morning. On this Wednesday, a uh, a cloudy day outside, which is perfect at least for the beginning of this devotional moment. It's the Wednesday before Good Friday, and so we are turned towards the cross and the events leading up to the cross of Jesus Christ. And I want to take just a moment and look at the Gospel of Luke, chapter 22. Chapter 22 begins by reminding us that in verse 2, the chief priests and scribes were seeking how to put him, that is Jesus, to death. And here now, let's read verses 3 through 6 and see kind of how this came together. Because if you are a Christian or you're at all familiar with Christianity, you know that Jesus was crucified on that Good Friday and then rose again on Easter Sunday. How did this come about? Well, Luke 22, 3 through 6 reads, Then Satan entered into Judas called Iscariot, who was of the number of the 12. He went away and conferred with the chief priests and officers how he might betray him to them. And they were glad and agreed to give him money. So he consented and sought an opportunity to betray him to them in the absence of a crowd. Well, that's why I say it's nice to read on a cloudy day such dark, gloomy things. Uh, but look at what is going on. It is really a marvel how God works and how even the plans of the wicked can turn to God's purposes. There were evil men conspiring in the situation. Satan himself was pushing for it. Satan entered Judas and inspired him to betray Christ. And if you read the Bible, you find that the crucifixion is the victory of Christ. The crucifixion and the resurrection together, but even sometimes the weight is put on the crucifixion that by his death, Jesus conquered the one who holds the power of death. That is Satan. That's in the book of Hebrews in the New Testament. And so the devil was working towards his own defeat, but he didn't know it. God is in control, and God has a plan for redemption. And in the wonder of God's plan, sometimes this plan is God's purposes are unwittingly and unwillingly advanced, even by the devil himself, to his own destruction and to God's glory and the purposes of God. It's a good reminder of the wonderful reversals that God brings about, and the cross is surely the greatest of them. That God has reached down to us, and in this world we go through all kinds of hardships and difficulties, but Jesus has gone before us, has borne for us the greatest burden of all, the weight of our sin and condemnation, which we could never carry, has borne it upon the cross, and in that strange work of God has overcome sin and death and devil and brought victory and life to those who trust in him. And so, if you're going through something hard, remember the victory of Christ. Remember that the evil we see and endure is temporary, but the glory of God's plan for all those who belong to Christ is eternal joy. May the Lord strengthen you and sustain you and turn your eyes to him as we go through this day. God bless you.